And the whole month of May has been devoted to this. It's been kind of crazy. So I want to just kind of talk about that first, and then we'll talk a little bit about the actual event itself. But this event, the sports day, is a really huge deal in Japan, and it's big no matter the size of your school, where you live, whatever. They do have this day for both in elementary school, middle school, and high school. What you do to participate changes a little bit, but it is a huge part of what everyone does here. And so we've been practicing ridiculously for this day. I mean, literally the whole month of May has been about this. Beginning of May, maybe an hour every other day is when they practiced. Last week there were, every day it was 1, 2 hours, 3 hours on Wednesday. It was ridiculous. And what they're practicing are these dances that they're doing and these kind of cheers that they're doing as a group. They do run a little bit, but mostly it's these dances that they're kind of coordinating, which is sort of strange. And it's done, the practice is during class time, so they don't study at all. My daughter went to school last Wednesday with just this little backpack with nothing in it. And I'm like, why are you going to school today, They're not even going to learn anything, they're just cheering. So, but that's a kind of a thing that's sort of part of Japanese culture. It's a big part of displaying how everybody can come together and make stuff look cool. Not a frenzied craziness that you might see or think. Maybe it was like that 20, 30 years ago in Japan. It's okay if some kids mess up. It's not like perfectly polished, oh my god, everybody is on cue. There's a little room for goofiness and to have a good time. So it's not that kind of psycho, military kind of feel to it. It's not that bad, but it definitely is a big part of what they do, and they get all these moves together so they can show off at their sports day, which is on a Sunday. It's held on a Sunday so that dads can come, because most of the dads are working during the week, and a lot of the moms are too. So it's a good chance to get the whole family together to come and cheer everybody on. There's some running, like I said, some kind of short distance runs and relays. There's kind of like a sort of an obstacle course where they have to start out by dragging a ball behind them on a little tray and then doing some hula hoop and stuff like that to kind of see who wins. The parents do something silly where they run around and try to find an apple in a bucket or something like that. But it's generally about those presentations and doing these activities, and then not really any individual person's a winner. The classes are broken up into teams. My school, where my daughter is at, is so small that they just have a red and a white team. And her class, because third grade is all just one class, what they had to do is split the class in half so that they could have half on the red and half on the white team. Other classes, there's class 1 and class 2, so all of class 1 will be red team and all of class 2 will be the white team. And so they kind of do this challenge and keep score throughout, after this event, oh, white moved ahead, oh, after this, now red's ahead. But it's only about that, really not about individual greatness, not who won the relay. There will be some mention later in school magazines and reports that will let you know if somebody took first place, but it's not a big let's get on the stage and cheer everybody on because you won the relay. They don't really do that very much. So it's more about a group effort. And like I said, families, the whole family comes, grandparents come, it's chaos, tons of people. And then the big deal of the whole thing too is to bring your own bento or box lunch, and we all sit together and eat together. So that's a big time that the kids are super excited about, of course. But it's sort of a strange thing to get used to. I'm always a little surprised by how much effort's going into making these dance routines and taking away from school time. I have no problem with them doing it. I think they could just do it after school, but everybody after school has their own special, juku tutorial place that they go to, so they don't really all want to get interrupting that, which can be complicated. So it is what it is, but you've got all those things to look forward to and kind of cheer everybody on. It's a huge selling point for cameras and video cameras in Japan right now. If you're looking to buy a video camera, now's the time because they're all on sale to give everybody the excitement of having one for Sports Day. Now, I think it's in October. That's when the real sports day like the national holiday of Sports Day is. Different schools and different places hold their sports day at a different time. I know my daughter's elementary school holds it in May, but then the kindergarten was like later on in the fall too. So it just always kind of depends on where you are, but definitely part of the season of things to get ready for that. So I remember my field day, we call that field day in the States, when I was in elementary school. It was super cool. We went around and go to the different stations, who could hula hoop the most, who could jump rope the most. It was super exciting, and there'd be a winner for the whole grade. And I think they said, like, if whichever class had the most ribbons, then they got a pizza party. It was a fun day. About individual achievement and team achievement. So I think maybe that Japan lacks a little on the individual side.